Hey everybody, it's Chris, and I am back to do another pour with you today. This is the second attempt at this particular painting. As you can see, I've already scraped off my canvas because the first time didn't go so well. I ended up getting a lot of green, and a little bit of green was okay, but I didn't want that much green in my mix. So this is a bottle bottom pour. So I'm using the bottom of a soda bottle, and I recommend a soda bottle because it has the 5 petals and these indentations that we kind of need in order for this type of technique to work. I'm using metallic purple, which is Artist Loft, bright aqua green, medium magenta. This one is Liquitex Basics, so is the bright aqua green, as well as the cadmium yellow light. And then I'm also using metallic blue, which is another Artist Loft color. Kind of questioning my thoughts process here on the metallic blue because last time I got a lot of green because it was next to the cadmium yellow. So I think I might just change my order here and see if that helps a bit. Also using some Artist Loft white, and I'm going to start by just putting a little bit of white in the center. When I've done these before, I find that if I don't have something underneath the bottle cap, sometimes there's not enough paint to cover. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of white down to start. And then I'm going to set this bottle cap down. And I decided that I'm going to just pour directly from the bottles. Last time I tried to layer my paints into a cup and I kind of ended up with a lot of mud. So this time I'm going to start with the purple, and I'm just going to put some paint down in the center. Just want to make sure that my paint is going down all legs of the bottom. And then I'm just going to continue layering my colors on top and letting those colors flow over. And then we'll do the bright aqua green. And then hopefully I can kind of control my petal sizes too this way and make sure that everybody's got even amounts of color all the way around, because that was another issue that I had last time. And then the cadmium yellow cadmium yellow light. And then I think I'll put just a little bit of white down because sometimes the purple and yellow don't play well together. And then I'm going to come back in with the purple, and I'm just going to continue this until I get enough color down so that I can kind of start tilting and have a flower shape. So I'm just going to fast forward this so you don't have to watch all of this, and then I'll pop back on when we're ready to start tilting. So hang tight. Okay, everybody, you can see that I've got all the colors added, and I have to say I like this oh so much better. It's kind of interesting how it seems like there's a ton of yellow in here, even though I added so many other colors. And I think what I'll do is just put a little bit more white here in the center, and maybe just one more of the purple to finish it off. I thought yellow would be good because it would give me a yellow center, but it seems like there's an awful lot of yellow showing, so I think I'm going to add just a tiny bit more color. And you can also see that I've finished off the canvas with some white, just so that the paint will kind of slide a little bit easier, I think. And then hopefully that'll kind of help to the canvas to cover. But this definitely, I think, is definitely the way to do it. I do have all of my paints pre-mixed in condiment bottles, which makes this technique super easy to do because you can see that it was really easy to put it onto the bottle cap, or excuse me, bottle bottom as it were. All right, so now I'm gonna lift this off, and I just realized I didn't put gloves on before I started, so here's hoping I don't get too messy. And this is gonna kind of flow to the center, so we're gonna let that kind of go in the middle a little bit. I think I may put just a little bit of white in here to kind of keep a little bit of white space in the middle there. Kind of keep it from totally covering the center. And we'll see if we can kind of retain the shape, because the shape is very cool right now. So kind of thinking I may go in a bit of a circular pattern, and maybe that will kind of help to retain that, but probably not. So I may just tilt off and we'll see what we get. All right, so you can see kind of some close up here. There's definitely some cells that are starting to form. There's no silicone in my paint whatsoever. So it's just kind of the paints reacting to each other, as well as the pouring medium that I use. And my pouring medium is 4 cups of strained Floetrol and a cup of Elmer's Glue All, half a cup of Liquitex pouring medium, and about 1/4 cup of water. So depending on the thickness of my pouring medium, sometimes my pouring medium is like really thick. So I'll add just a little bit more water into it just to kind of get the thickness that I want. And then I'm kind of trying to let the weight of the paint kind of determine which way I'm going to stretch. And I'm trying to go back up to the center so that I'm retaining those colors and the lines that I have before I stretch to another direction. So I'm going to lose the shape a little bit, but it's definitely retaining much better than it did the first time around that I did this. So I would definitely recommend that you let the weight of the paint go back to the center before you start to shift in a different way. And now I want to see if I can get this bottom corner covered a bit. So I chose really bright colors just because I think it's kind of retro, I think. A little hippie style maybe. And I chose the yellow and the magenta and tried to put those together in hopes to get a little bit of orange out of it too, without like having too many colors in here to get it muddied up. All right. So I don't think we're going to retain the shape of the flower, but that's all right. I think if the paint was a little bit thinner, maybe it would flow out better. But these are just how I mix my paints. So I just kind of used what I had pre-mixed, and it's still kind of a funky little painting, I think. So kind of fun. And oh, so much better than the first time I did it, let me tell you. So I'm just going to stretch this out a little bit more, kind of let my paint go back up a bit. I'm really glad that I added that white to the corners too, because I do kind of feel like it would have been hard to stretch this all the way to the corners. All right. Let's see if I can get this corner covered just a bit more up here. And by using the white and putting the white in the mix, it all blends together. Okay, so now I'm just trying to kind of get a little bit of my shape back, if you will. And I think it's pretty cool. All right, so let me set this back down. I think I've got you in frame. And I want to torch this a little bit because I've definitely got some air bubbles. And then we'll take the torch and see if we get anything else that comes up. If If nothing else, it will definitely pop the air bubbles, and sometimes it kind of helps some stuff come up through the paint too. There's definitely a lot of little cells in there, which is interesting because, like I said, there's no silicone. And that's just the paint reacting with each other, so. All right, let me pick this up and show you a little bit closer view so that you can, I've got you as close as I can with my camera, but that cadmium yellow light is one that will definitely give you some effects too. And as well as I find that the Artist Loft Flow acrylic white does too. That's why I like to use it. Let me get you back in frame here, and then so you have one final view. It's very interesting. It's interesting to me how I always, yellow just kind of takes over in my paintings, and I need to learn to use a lot less of it. I really didn't think that I had that much in there, but obviously there's a ton of yellow in it. All right, guys, so that is a completed bottle bottom pour. That's probably really a straight pour because we poured straight from the bottles. If you have any questions, please let me know. I hope you'll like and subscribe, and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.